And we have reached the final speaker of the day, Elias Rassi. Ooh!
I
All right.
wish everyone gave me that kind of reaction. That's awesome. Thank you. It's nice to meet you, by the way. I've been following you for a while and have been a user of Winter and love everything that you guys do. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Love the picture wall. It's pretty intense, though. There's sports.
Sports, yeah. I don't have an office plant like yourself and Alfie. My home office is in our basement.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I used to be a hockey coach before.
I
Actually,
see.
I just stopped recently, but yeah, it was something that I was deeply involved in. I still love it. Still love the game. I still play. But I have 3 kids, so I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
time for that now.
I, s-
Yeah.
I see the evidence of kids in the background.
You see, yeah, this is I'm surrounded by toys and
No,
books
it's true.
and all kinds
Don't
of
they
fun stuff.
say you got to bring your whole self to work?
Well, exactly. I don't blur my. I mean, this is it. I got kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I know Inbar was saying something about kids. I got kids coming in and out of meetings all the time. Like, yeah, but I love
Yeah.
it. Cannot complain one bit about working from home. I absolutely
Totally.
love it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same problem with kids, but that's why now I got a separate office because
Okay,
daddy's at
deal.
work right now didn't work in my case. All right. Well, I'm stoked to hear what you've learned this year, and so I'll talk to you later.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, hey everybody. My name is Eli, and I'm a product marketing manager at Upland Software. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around this long. I'm really excited to talk to you today. I love my job. I think that's something that has come through all of the speakers is how passionate we are about our work and what we do. And similar to Alfie, actually, I've only been in product marketing as an official role for a few months, not very long, but I've kind of always been interested in the work that product marketing managers do. So it's been a very natural evolution in my career. And as you can see, I started out actually in PR. I used to be a PR guy. And I've slowly grown over time in my career, worked in various roles across marketing. I've done content marketing. I focused on social media. I've done demand generation. I've done customer marketing. And that was intentional. I find for me, like, there's no better way to learn than to get experience by doing things. I mean, an old hockey, thing we used to say all the time. You don't get better by sitting on the bench. So I've really found a lot of value in the different experiences that I have, and I feel like that's brought a lot of really interesting perspectives, maybe that I've had in product marketing. So in my current role, I work at a company called Upland Software. So Upland has a very diverse product library that's trusted by over 1,800 enterprise customers. So our products are used by departments in every corner of an organization, from sales and marketing to IT. Our team is, full of very smart and creative problem solvers, brilliant group of people all over the world. And myself, I'm based in Ottawa, Canada. I've got uh, 3 beautiful kids. I get choked up every time I talk about them, but they're actually older than what this picture shows. That's when our youngest was just born, but now they're older. My daughter's 7, our middle son is 5, and the baby, he's not a baby anymore, but he's 2. But um, I love them to death, and like I was just saying, I really love just being at home because I get to spend so much more time with them. So um, I work on specifically 4 products at Upland. I'm gonna, in general, just talk broadly about the things that I've learned in 2022. It's not unique to any one product. These are lessons that I've kind of gathered through my time in the role, and then look towards what we are going to do next year in 2023. So the first one is start with the market. You've heard people today during the session talk about this, but it really is the most fundamental starting point, not just for product marketing, but like for as a business. Think about this from a business. I tend to decouple marketing and sales, like it's business. These are business problems that we're trying to solve. It's a business strategy that we work on. It's not exclusive to any one thing or any one department or any one role. And the products that I work on are in well-established categories. They're mature. They've changed. The products themselves and the categories themselves have changed since our products have come to market. So when I joined, I realized, we need to go back to the market to understand where we fit today. So the first step for us was to get some basic data on the size of the market and the subcategories if we can. It's really tricky to find, but if your company is fortunate enough to be have an account with an analyst firm, you could sort of get that information. So we don't do primary research, so we use secondary research from good sources like analyst firms, and this helped us establish a baseline. Because what used to happen is we used to get a lot of input from sales or other internal team members, and that's great and that's important. You should do that. And we realized in a lot of ways we're doing the right things. We were talking to people beyond sales, but we needed more because we started to rely on too much anecdotal feedback. And there's a big difference between, if you talk to sales, between what we think we're selling compared to what people are buying. It's the old story. Not everyone is buying the quarter-inch drill, they're buying the quarter-inch hole. So too much anecdotal feedback left us feeling like, you know, um, we had a lot of holes in the wall, but no idea what tool we use to get them, right? So, the lesson that I learned was, don't be afraid to go back to the market, and understanding the real need for the people who are in that market. Understand the real needs for your products, understand what the value prop is that will address those needs, understand the messaging, just understand the market, understand the dynamics in that market, understand the different influencers and buying groups that operate within those markets, and operate and understand like where, the people within your market, you know, go to get their information, go to find what they need. Again, like it's not about what you sell, it's about what customers buy, what people buy. And really, that all starts with understanding the market. The second lesson I learned was just how important it was to go back to the basics. So for me, the basics means two things. So first, product, market fit, and market message fit. So again, we use secondary data and talk to customers from each segment and industry that use our products. Product market fit helps us understand what impact the capabilities we have in our product, what those can do to help buyers, help customers reach the outcomes that they want. So it's not about feature function wars. It used to be for us. If you visit any our part of our website, you'll still see, that some of that exists. We're slowly moving away from that because getting into feature function wars, you're one of 1,000, you're one of 10,000 providers out there in the market. You all start to blend together. So we realized we got to go back to the basics and figure out, something more. Like we need something more core to the way the products we sell fit and be able to explain how they fit into the day-to-day life of the customers we have. And then like what they actually help them do. What outcomes do they actually help them, achieve and realize, right? And so, for market message fit, we threw everything at people. We realized we need to stay focused on just a few things. Again, this is what happens when you get a lot of anecdotal feedback and and it gets factored into marketing. You try to please everybody. A few speakers today talked about how important it is to manage the relationships you have internally, and that could not be more true. That is so important. But when you try to position for everything, you effectively become, nothing to nobody, right? It doesn't work. So messaging is critical for everything we do. An example of that is, our web pages. So I mentioned we use Winter. I can't tell you how valuable the feedback we got from our webpage was to us, because it helped us inform the strategy for what we will do and what we won't do moving forward. And since implementing that feedback, we've had really great results, and so we're looking to kind of ramp those up even more so moving forward. And so I mentioned the basics mean two things. One, was a combination of product market fit and market message fit. The second one is everyone's funnel is different. So if you think of like your funnel, I know people don't always love funnels, but if you think of your funnel, you've got awareness, consideration, preference, purchase, loyalty, advocacy. Yes, I had to read them out. I can't remember them, but I have in front of me. Okay. So every company performs better in some places than others. Some companies are really great at awareness. Some companies are really great at building loyalty. Um, so marketing's job is essentially to understand the funnel, understand where the gaps are in the funnel, and then prioritize and determine, what areas to tackle. Because I don't think like you're ever going to have a perfect funnel. You're never going to be 100% across the board. But if you're really good at creating awareness, but you struggle at, winning deals, your problem is not awareness. Your problem is the reasons why you're not winning deals. So whatever those might be for your company, if you look at your funnel, it's really helpful to go back and look at, where there's opportunities to improve and strengthen that the points along the way through the funnel. So um, our you know our approach is going to be to kind of reconstruct the funnel with these lessons in mind for next year, and this stretches across the company. Like, people tend to focus on the alignment between sales and marketing. That's true, that's important, but there's others. There's product and product marketing. There's product marketing and SDRs. There's SDRs and solutions. Like, those relationships across the board are all part of this, and they're all part of the basics and the fundamentals of doing of running just a really good business, right? So there's some work we need to do there, but it's definitely something that I learned is definitely one we should focus on, and work with people to kind of get the right buy-in on that approach. Okay, so the third lesson, it's not the last lesson I learned. I learned a lot, but the third lesson I learned was I wanted us to start to think a certain way about marketing, which was more long term, not short term. When you think long term, like, the game completely changes. You have to realize, though, thinking long term takes time, right? Years, right? But the payoff is there. You get more qualified buyers, you get shorter sales cycles. And when you think short term, like, we had been for a little bit of time, you get caught in this tactics hamster wheel of hell. Um, and then, marketing turns to sales. Well, marketing's not sales, right? Marketing, especially in B2B, is not transactional. So, my belief is it's more of a long-term game. And so I really wanted us to start thinking about long-term, and kind of what that means for us is like striking the right balance between how fundamentally how we market to people who are in market versus not in market. Because depending on your source, like, I tend to look at the LinkedIn B2B Institute, just because I love the researchers that are part of that team. There's a vast majority of people who are not in market to buy your product. There's some that are, right? But the way you go about getting in front of those people is different. So we need to know, we want people to know, who fit our ideal customer profile, to know our products exist. That's fundamental, right? And we want certain things to come to mind when they think about these products. We also need a better understanding of the context and the situations they're in when these products come to mind for them, right? um, because the more people are aware of our products, the more aware of the contextual situation that they fit into their world, the more likely they'll come directly to us, right? And there's no better source of new business than getting somebody coming directly to you saying, "Hey, I know you're here. Hey, I know what you do. Hey, I've got this thing that I need to talk to you about. Like, let's have a conversation about it," right? And the best example I can think of this is, you know, if you're in your any type of situation company you've been a part of, you have customers who leave, right? They go somewhere else, they spend a little bit of time there, and they realize, hey, we have a problem. I used this product before to help us solve this problem. It's a good product. um, they're good people, they offer good service, it's a good company. I'm just going to come back to you. Like, that's almost like happens often, right? Because people think to themselves like, like, I'm going to scan my own thought process first. Do I know anything? Am I aware of something? Yes, I am, and go. It reduces the chance that you're going to go up against heavy competition, and you've already got somebody who knows about your product and they like you. So it's a great situation to be in. So fostering that for new business opportunities is tricky, but it's definitely something that we've tried, and it works. And so we're going to continue to kind of redefine and refine um, how we do that. And by the way, like, you don't need a big budget to do this. If you think of like the 3 lessons I've learned, you just need to know your market, have the basics down pat, and a deep sense of your ability to execute as a marketing team. Okay, and then our future. So, as a discipline at Upland, product marketing is relatively new, and so in some ways, like, I can learn from other product marketers who work in different business units that I do about what they do around launches. And so that's part of like my plan, and our plan for next year is to get um, a little bit more of a refined process, a bit more formality, a bit more, none of the fun stuff, but it's important stuff, but kind of get that down pat, because right now with regards to launches, we do them, and we do them well, but there definitely could be done better. So I'm excited to see what we come up with for next year. And finally, my last slide. So I don't do Twitter or Facebook. I'm on Instagram if you want to check out pictures of my family, my kids, and food that I eat. But yeah, if you want to chat marketing or anything like that, hit me up on LinkedIn. Happy to connect.
So, what is your biggest challenge today as a marketer?
Um, it's a good question, because I don't think it necessarily comes down to one thing. I think for me, to be honest, it's really getting everyone internally to come around on the general idea of like what marketing is, what we're going to do in marketing, and how we're going to go about doing things, right?
Mm.
Because it's a it's something that, again, like, I don't view this as like a marketing thing and then the sales thing. Like, it's a business thing. It's a fundamental approach to business, and it's understanding that everybody agrees that this is the strategy. This is the way we're going to go to market. This is the way we're going to work customer retention. This is all of it. So I find like that's the hardest part, is like, people are really excited to like have ideas and share things, and makes it like, that's all great stuff. But like having those really difficult conversations about like, what are we going to do as a business? What are we not going to do as a business? That's the biggest thing that I've learned. Like, those are when you're in those conversations, like, it's cool, because like you kind of work your way through your career to like, I want to be a part of big important conversations, and you get there and you're like, oh, I don't always get what I want, and it's but the trade-offs and understanding what goes into making good decisions, data, things like that are really important. So yeah, that's definitely something that we do all the time. But for me, like, we have a very open leadership group, and we're very collaborative. So they're hard conversations, but they're thoroughly enjoyable, and we get we get a lot of things done. So it's good.
Who decides over these matters? Like, do you report to the CMO, or who's your boss?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So every business unit at Upland is run by like a general manager. So it's almost like an SVP level leadership person, right? And so every business unit is structured differently in terms of who reports to who. So like Upland, like the company has a VP of marketing who is responsible for like Upland marketing, right? My boss is effectively the head of sales and marketing. So I report into almost like a dual role. Um, so under the business unit general manager, there's product, there's like we're like a mini company, if you will. It's a very interesting
Mm.
structure. I've never worked at a place like this, but it's super cool.
And those business units is like different products, or
Yeah,
how are
yeah.
they?
So each business unit is responsible for a set of products within Upland's library. Yeah,
I see. Well,
yeah.
that makes so the so have you have positioning and messaging per product, and then per brand, and so how are those things working together?
Our brand team is unbelievable. So they create a framework and a structure that is like, these are the guidelines. These are our brand guidelines. This is our tone. This is our color. Like all of your brand identity, your brand assets are A1. Okay. Now, the value we have as a company in terms of what we provide our customers and why you would want to partner with us is set in a certain way. So our corporate values, right? Then when it trickles down to the individual business units, we echo and reflect the core brand and core values in what we do. So it's set, but it flexes depending on like what we're doing, right? So for example, um, one of our core value props as Upland is value. So the products we provide they provide a lot of value. I know that's generic, but I'm just summarizing it, right? So when I do messaging frameworks, I sprinkle in where it makes sense to reiterate that, right? So I follow there's a I don't want to call it a hierarchy, but it's consistency, right?
So now I'm on your website right now. 30 products,
Yeah.
and they're different brands,
Yep.
and each brand has its own GM and its own
Yep. Yep.
people. Different go to market, or they're all selling to the same customer.
Different go to market. Yeah, there's some products that are e-commerce. You buy them right from our website. Yeah, totally different. It's very fascinating. I learned so much. Like at my, I'm so lucky. Like people work at companies and they work with like a team of marketers. You're all in the same team. Like we are all
Hmm.
in the same team, but I get so many different perspectives by connecting and working with different people. Like that's what makes it so cool, you know?
That is pretty interesting, I have to say. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's an Austin company. Wow. Well, I get lunch with your CEO one day, and then see how they're going about this thing. So, all
Yeah,
right, Eli, pleasure. Thank you for
pleasure.
hanging out with us. Thank you for sharing your lessons learned. We'll see you on LinkedIn.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cheers.